Frank Sinatra wasn't just the king of cool. He was a ticking time bomb. From smashing a treasured Norman Rockwell painting to punching a reporter, Sinatra's outbursts were as legendary as his music. One of his wildest moments even involved a U.S. president, a demolished heliport, and a grudge that lasted a lifetime. "Don't get even, get mad," he used to say, and mad he would get all right. A sad case of what happens when you fall out with the president you once pimped for and provided with drugs. In March 1962, President Kennedy was due to stay with Sinatra at his mansion in Palm Springs, California. Brother Bobby Kennedy got cold feet because of Frank Sinatra's links to the mob and persuaded JFK to stay with Bing Crosby instead. Sinatra had installed a special suite at his house with 25 extra phone lines and a helipad. When Sinatra's actor friend and Kennedy's brother-in-law Peter Lawford broke the bad news that JFK was instead staying with Bing Crosby, he paid the price. "He never forgave me. He cut me off just like that," said Lawford. Sinatra stormed into the house, smashed up his JFK photographs, kicked in the door of the presidential suite he'd had built, and tried to wrest the gold nameplate from the door. He even took a sledgehammer to the heliport he'd had built for JFK. The Tommy Dorsey Band was full of tough characters. When Sinatra accused Buddy Rich of messing up drum solos, Rich called him a silly f***. Sinatra picked up a pitcher of water and threw it all at Rich's head, narrowly missing. Sinatra hated New York Mirror journalist Lee Mortimer. When the pair exchanged words in Cairo's nightclub in 1948, Sinatra punched him. It was reported in modern television and radio in December 1948 as a sock on the jaw, while Sinatra dismissed it as a little fracas. Sinatra ended up in court, agreeing a private settlement to end the assault and battery charges brought against him by Mortimer. Sinatra bemoaned the rise of rock music in the 60s and particularly hated the Doors and their song "Light My Fire," calling it ugly and degenerate. When Sinatra was driving home one night, it came on the car radio. He switched stations and found that channel playing the same song. He stopped the car and smashed the car radio to bits with his shoe. When a waiter brought him a Frankfurter with tomato ketchup on it, he threw a bottle at him, splattering him with sauce. It was obviously dangerous to mess with Sinatra around food. When Houston press photographer Eddie Schisser approached him in a restaurant and said, "I'd like to take your picture eating spaghetti," Sinatra shoved him away. Another time, Sinatra paid a waiter $50 to punch writer Dominic Dunn at a popular Hollywood restaurant. It could have been worse. Sinatra once threw a telephone at a businessman at the Beverly Hills Hotel, fracturing his skull. When a woman challenged Sinatra about politics, he arranged for his bodyguard, Tony the Clam Consiglio, to go to her hotel room and throw a plate of barbecued spare ribs in her face. In her memoir, Barbara Sinatra recalled that during a late-night game of charades, the singers' team lost a round, and Sinatra turned on the timekeeper, Barbara, who held a large brass clock on her lap. He came over, and he had been drinking quite a lot. It must have been about 4 o'clock in the morning. He picked up the clock, and I think he wanted to hit me with it. He threw it against the front door, and it broke into 1,000 pieces.